All right, this is part two, guys. It's part two. Some there. Yeah. Yeah, so Peter won't have to worry about what? About time constraints for my movie because I'm releasing it direct to home video, direct to 4K Blu-ray. Direct to 4K. I'm gonna ask Peter, what do you think is better? I could release my movie online. I can sign up with Amazon for the merch if I want. I can do a deal like that if I want to, but if the problem with online is that it's very unprofessional. It's very unprofessional, and I'm not. I'm just. It's 1080p. It's unprofessional. I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather have my own physical media collection in my box set. It's much cooler, and 4K Blu-ray is better technology than 1080p online. You see what I'm saying? Huh? So even though I love Netflix and Disney Plus, when I watch movies on those sites, it's very unprofessional. It gets released, you pay and you watch it. It's unprofessional. You'd rather have a box set, your 4K Blu-ray box set. It's much cooler. And that's why I'm gonna. People, Ivan, stick to 4K Blu-ray. 4K Blu-ray is where it's at. It's better than online 1080p online, Ivan. But online, I'll make more money though. And I'll make about the same amount of money because online, I'm gonna reduce the price to like 40, $35 for my movie, for each of my three volumes. So I'll still make pretty much the same amount of money, pretty much, right? Because I'm lowering the price, obviously, so it's pretty much the same amount of money. It doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, I'll ask Peter. Do you think it's best I release it on 4K Blu-ray on Amazon? You know what I'm saying, or do you think I should online? I haven't sell your movie on 4K Blu. 4K Blu is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? I can't do both because if I do both, Amazon will lose out on the money. Most people are going to end up purchasing the online, and Amazon will make very little money. If you want to do 4K Blu, you have to have Amazon be your sole distributor. That way, they reap the benefits and they make all the money. Obviously, because if you release it on 4K Blu and online, chances are most people are going to purchase online because they want to watch it right away. They don't want to wait for the 4K Blu to arrive in the mail. You see what I'm saying? Huh? That's why you can't do that. It's either you choose 4K Blu or you choose online streaming. And I'm choosing 4K Blu-ray, not Blu-ray, not DVD, 4K Blu-ray. That way you get an unheard of experience for you when you watch at home. I'm gonna have that those meetings with Peter, we're gonna monitor all of them during for those 3 4 days. Me and Reed are gonna give them our notes. And we're gonna discuss the notes, obviously. Discuss. And we're gonna talk about the changes, some of the details that I'm thinking of adding in the movie. Once we do the meetings and John Howe and all of them can draw the ideas I told them I want them to draw. Okay, I want Eric to look like Pennywise the Clown. I want Ephesus to look like that would be an animal, a hybrid of the Boss Organ with the rings. I want what? I want the North to look holy like Rivendell and Pandora, something holy like that. Something like Pandora for the city's edge. Just give them ideas, like Kung Fu Panda. They give them ideas of what they know. You see what I'm saying? Tell them out that what they know. Tell them out that what they know. Tell them out that what they know, obviously. Okay, Peter, how long of a script will I need to write? How long will my script be? Ivan, you're looking at like a 300, like Lord of the Rings was a good like 300, like 30-page script with the three volumes. Your book will be like what? Like probably 400 pages, Ivan. Because we're gonna be following your 600-page book. Which for Lord of the Rings, I only follow 20% of J.R. Tolkien's story, and then the scripts were all like 120 pages each. That came up to 360 pages. Yeah, you're looking at like a 400, 420 page script for your book, Ivan. For your movie, Ivan. Yeah, you're looking at like a 400-page script for Zanus. As I'm not going to be cutting out a lot of scenes in my book, because all my scenes translate well on screen. I'll cut out a few things, obviously, but most of the stuff I'm gonna include in this in the movie. And I'm also gonna be expanding scenes, adding more scenes, adding more dialogue with more characters. Yeah, with Aratat, I'm gonna develop Aratat a bit more in the movie. Because in the book, he's not developed as well as Tacitus. He's developed pretty well, but he's not. The animal characters are not developed as well as the human characters. You see what I'm saying? Huh? You need to discuss that with Peter. Okay, Peter, I don't want Aratat's eyes glowing red. Otherwise, the movie glowing red and orange. Otherwise, I'll be silly. It'll be very, very cheesy and silly. No. But I don't want Taki's eyes glowing blue. No. In the book, it's fine, but for the movie, you have to make changes. For the movie, let's have Taki's eyes, his pupils change color, like that act, like Dune. The actor, that Timothy actor, his eyes changed blue. Yeah, his eyes changed like blue. Taki's the first eyes changed blue. Yeah, it changes color like vampires. You have that change of eye color. Yeah, something like that. That way the story's not silly, obviously. And I want Aratat to have a sword, a long sword. All the animal characters have swords. All the minor and major animal characters who fight, they all have swords. That way you get better coordination with your fighting. Whereas the army, the extras in the army, you can have some of them have axes, swords, and spikes. In the movie, obviously. That way you get a good movie, obviously. And you add more scenes with Aratat. I might have a scene where Aratat talks a fool about Famia, his mother. Whereas in the book, Aratat does not talk about Famia, the fool's mother. You see what I'm saying? Ivan, what's your flaw? My flaw, these are the flaws in my book that you're going to catch. The flaws in my book is that what? When I describe the lands, it's very, very vague. You don't really know. I tell you where the actors are going, obviously. These actors are going to this land, but I don't really describe their surroundings. It's very vague. My descriptions of the lands are very, very vague. Obviously, the character of Patrice, Nelii, the crows, the eagles are not developed that well. You see what I'm saying? Trust me, you'll see why when you look. The crows and the eagles, I'm giving you a heads up, are not developed that well. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? Patrice is not developed that well. Nelii is not that developed that well. He's a small minor character. Cornelius' father. He's not developed that well. Obviously. And I give vague descriptions of the lands. So I'm giving you a heads up, guys. If you think my book is going to be like J.R.R. Tolkien's book, where he goes in depth describing things, it's not like that. No, I give very vague descriptions of the lands. But I describe what the lands look like from the character's perspective. Hence why my world building still jumps on the page. So instead of me going on a tantrum describing all these lands and trees and all stuff, I stay away from that. I describe it through the character's perspective. That way, the story is more interesting. Because if you do what Tolkien did for Lord of the Rings, nowadays, you know what I'm saying, your book can get very boring, and fans can put your book down. You can have a boring book. But I know because I'm a creative genius, I know how to tell a good story. My book is very interesting. It's not boring. It's a masterpiece. When you read it, you're going to be hooked. Holy shit, Ivan wrote this. This is fucking amazing, yeah. So Ivan, what major change you're going to make for the movie? Okay, the big change I'm going to make for the movie is probably the battle sequences. I'm not going to follow exactly what's in the book for the battle. I'll follow a few things, but I'm gonna make up my own action sequences for the war, for the battle, obviously, to make it more interesting, obviously. Aratat and all of them will be fighting with swords, whereas in the book they fight with axes, obviously. Tacitus and all of them do flips in the book, whereas in the movie they're probably not going to do flips. Those are some of the major changes I'm going to make, obviously. I'm going to be adding quite a good 20-25% of dialogue to make the story more interesting. I'm going to add probably a good 25% more scenes to make it more interesting, obviously. That's probably the major change you're going to see in the movie. 20 more scenes, more dialogue. Aratat and all them fight with swords. Tacitus' eyes change color, they don't go blue. Aratat's eyes change color, or they don't change color at all. Whereas in the book, Aratat's eyes change color. You see what I'm saying, huh? Those are the big changes they're going to make in the movie, obviously. And probably the prologue. The prologue, I might make some pretty major changes. Not major changes, but I'm going to add quite a bit of scenes. The prologue's a little rushed. I'm going to add quite a bit of scenes for the prologue. Because the prologue is going to be a good 45-50 minutes of the movie, man. Peter, I want to tell the prologue story very carefully about Tacitus versus life when Tacitus is born. I want it to be a good 40, 45, 50 minutes long before we tell the story of Tacitus when he's a kid, 8 years later, and then later on, 20 years later when he's older. I'm just saying, yes, Peter, I don't want to do a quick prologue when someone's narrating like you did for Lord of the Rings. No. Tell the whole story. Show the whole story of Tacitus versus life when his son Tacitus is born. Now we get a better movie. I know what I'm doing. And Peter, please, when we film the movie, I don't want to film Volume 3 and Volume 1 at the same time, Volume 2 at the same time. No. Let's film Volume 1. Let's have the actors prepare themselves mentally for when they fight those demons later on in the story. You need all your stars to prepare mentally when they fight all these demon beings. Have them build up that progression for the actor's role when they're going to fight those demonic beings in Volume 3 and Volume 2. Volume 2, Tacitones and Cassius fight the devil beings, obviously, with 50 of Cassius' men, and they fight for Fool and his 25 wolves. So those actors are prepared mentally. And Volume 3 is when you have the big warning and you have the big battles, the big mini war in the caverns, when Tachy's going to fight the demonic bats and he feasts on them. You see what I'm saying? The actors have to prepare mentally for that, yeah. They have to prepare mentally for that. These actors have to prepare mentally for that. You see what I'm saying? They have to prepare mentally for that. Hence why I don't want what? I'm going to be very, very strict with Peter Jackson. Peter, please don't do that. Okay, don't worry, I won't do that. Yes. Stick to Volume 1. And then once Volume 1's done, that's a wrap. We move on to Volume 2. That's a wrap. We move on to Volume 3, and then filming's over. Everyone got their nice checks. Obviously, you can go home, you get your nice bonus, and you take your family on to vacation. I take your family to vacation, and we get ready for the world tour. Then after that post-production, and you have the luxury red carpet event, and the luxury red carpet event and 2 luxury hotel party, and the journey ends. And after those guys are gonna, Peter's on all of them are gonna beg, and after that the journey ends. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to do any reshoots for Zanes. But if Peter tells me, Ivan, we need to redo this, I'm gonna have to take more money out of my pocket and fund the reshoots, obviously. I'll talk with Peter, even though I'm not a fan of reshoots and I don't want to do any reshoots. If some scenes are really bad and you really want to change it, I don't mind putting a couple $100 towards reshoots. Okay, Peter, how much money will you need? I don't know, Ivan. We're gonna need a good like $150 million in reshoots. How much of my stars are you gonna need? I don't know, you're gonna need to fly in all your main 15 guys. Okay, I can pay all my guys a good $1.5 million for the reshoots. $1 million, $1.5 million. You pay all your stars, and if there's minor characters, you can pay the minor characters like $100K for the reshoots. It's a good paycheck for them. $80K for the reshoots of minor characters, and your stars you can pay them $1 million, $1.5 million for the reshoots. If we end up doing reshoots, well, I hope we don't. But if we do, because Peter will be all directors. They always watch the film before it even gets released. So Peter's always going to watch some of the footage, obviously. If he sees some scenes that are bad, he's going to have to what? He's going to have to call me up. Hey, Ivan, man, some of the scenes are not that good. I think we should redo this. I'm like, okay, Peter, how much money do you need? I don't know, Ivan. We're going to need a good $150 million for the reshoots. Okay, fine. We have to fly in more of the crewmen, yeah. The crewmen, I'll pay them a good like $6,000 for the reshoots. Pay all the crewmen a good like, because for the reshoots, you're probably looking at a good maybe, I don't know, two months of reshoots around there. 3 months. Pay all the crewmen a good $6,000-$7,000. That's a good paycheck for them. You gotta watch for your budget, man. I was nice enough to pay you $1,000 for the reshoots. I'm not gonna pay as much. Pay the crewmen a good $7,000 paycheck for 3 months of work. That's a good paycheck. That's a nice $2,200 check every month. That's a nice paycheck for a crewman. All right, that's a good deal. Yeah, FK. If we end up doing reshoots, I'll pay you guys like $7,000 for a couple months of reshoot. That's a good paycheck for them. 7-8 grand for the crewmen. That way you can afford to pay all the crewmen that if you end up doing fucking reshoots. See what I'm saying? Yeah, every time I watch Lord of the Rings, like, man, it must be cool to be a fucking movie star. Yeah, you see Viggo Mortensen, you see Orlando Bloom, you see Elijah Wood. Man, they must have had a blast being movie stars. Even though they were dirty slaves, they obviously had a blast, man. Being a part of all those parties, the red carpet event, getting interviewed, yeah, and being a part of that buzz for the trailer for the Lord of the Rings. It's a good feeling being a movie star, yeah. Being a movie star is the best feeling in the world. There's no job better than being a movie star, man. Being a movie star is the best job to have. Being a pro athlete's cool, obviously, but it's not as cool as being a movie star, man. Being a movie star is the best job ever, man. Like, being a fucking movie star with special effects and on the screen, being a part of that hype with Eric being the devil himself. Yeah, that's why Zane's will have crazy buzz. And that's why these actors and Peter Jackson, all of them are going to beg, all the crewmen are going to beg, because my company's better in Hollywood. As my world tour blows, the Hollywood world tour is out of the water. The only thing cool about the Hollywood tour is you have media there. You have media there who interview all the actors, obviously, and that stuff gets posted on YouTube. So my world tour, none of it will be on YouTube, because I didn't sell. It's all behind the scenes. For it to be on YouTube, they have to for them to mention my name. It has to be all behind the scenes. Obviously, there will be no media interviewing me. There'll be no press. There'll be no. It's a press conference, obviously, but it's behind the scenes. Like there's not going to be any media interviewing us and posting on YouTube. No, I didn't sell. Hence, all the paparazzi and all who interview all the actors at Comic-Con and all stuff. They're not going to be interviewing me and the actors, but the people there will interview me and Peter Jackson at the venue, a press conference, obviously, but it's all behind the scenes. It's a behind the scenes press conference. You know what I'm saying? It's a behind the scenes World Comic-Con, pretty much. But you're looking at crazier fans than what you even get for even Hollywood. Lord of the Rings, they had 125,000 fans for the movie, man. For Fellowship of the Ring. And my red carpet, looking like the whole city cheering me on. Cheering me and the actors on, my wife. Look at something crazy, man. And the actors, I'm charging all the venues for speaking. Whereas in Hollywood, I don't think the actors get paid for that, man. The actors speak for free. Hollywood pays for their food and their living, obviously, when they go on world tours. But, like, they don't get paid for that, the actors. Whereas for my company, I'm paying all the actors for speaking. I am paying all the actors for speaking, you know what I'm saying? I am paying all the actors for speaking for my movie. As I'm going to charge the venues like $65,000 minimum. Before I said $25,000, the only way I'll charge $25,000, $30,000 is if there's only like 5,000 fans. There's 5,000 fans, I'll charge like $25,000. Obviously, but chances are you're looking at 20,000 on average fans. It's 20,000 fans, I'll charge 65, 70K around there. 65K for speaking. Me and VJ take 17,000. And the 43,000 is split with the actors. They get their nice $2,800 check. That's a good paycheck for the actors. If there's a venue of like 50,000 people, I would charge like 150, 200 grand. If I charge 150 grand, I will take home like 70K around there, and I'll split the 130,000 with the actors. The actors all get their nice, I don't know, $7,000 check. So even though I'm greedy, I'm taking home most of the pie. I'm giving the actors a nice piece of the pie. A nice $7,000 check. Yeah, my company blows out of the water. Yeah, man. And if it's something crazy like 60,000 people, 70, I'm going to charge like 250K. 250K, I'll take home 100 grand. Me and VJ take home 100K, and I'll split 150,000 with the actors. And they all get their $9,000 each. It's a good paycheck for the actors. So even though me and VJ are taking home the big chunk of the pie, I'm giving the actors a nice piece of the pie. A big venue like that, they get like $9 grand. That's nice. That's nice pocket money for a celebrity. In other words, the money that the actors make for the world tour, they can use that money to get their nice like car, man. They're nice, like I want to use my world tour money to get my nice clothes and my nice car, my nice like $80,000 Porsche, and my nice clothes. Buy some nice clothes for my wife, my kids. You know what I'm saying? I might use that for my vacation, my 1 week vacation. Yeah, man. Nice paycheck, obviously. And the actors also get their $250,000 royalty check for the merch. Yeah, my company blows out of the water. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna have that big talk with Peter if he's hired, and Guillermo del Toro if he's hired. If what? Something tells me Peter will say, Ivan, I recommend you choose Guillermo del Toro. Because Guillermo del Toro did The Hobbit, he did Pan's Labyrinth. He'll have a lot of good ideas for my movie. He co-wrote all the Hobbit movies. And so have a lot of good ideas for my fantasy of Last of Us. And that's why I think, hey Peter, what do you think of? I'll give him a suggestion. Peter, what do you think of Guillermo del Toro? You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to direct your Hobbit trilogy, and he co-wrote all your movies with you. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I think Guillermo del Toro is the best man for my assistant director. Who knows? He might choose someone else, but I think he'll choose Guillermo del Toro because he did the Hobbit. He's the best man to help him because he co-wrote all the Hobbit movies with Peter. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think those two guys will work good together, obviously. I can't picture anyone else better than Guillermo del Toro to assist Peter Jackson. I think he's the best man to assist Peter Jackson. I'm going to have that big meeting with him and Guillermo del Toro, with my wife and Peter and Guillermo del Toro. We're going to have that big meeting. with Guillermo del Toro and all them for the movie, obviously. And because I say VJ's ask, VJ will help me. She will help me a lot. I have nowhere, but I'll help you. I'll help you out with your notes. Okay, VJ. Let's go to the store. Let's buy a MacBook. I can easily afford it. I'm a billionaire. Obviously, buy the best MacBook out there, the best laptops out there. A nice like $2,000-$3,000 MacBook. We sit down in our nice suite that we're staying in this country, and we go over some of the scenes in my book, and we talk about the changes that should be made. All the animal characters have swords. Taki's eyes change color. Eratat's eyes change color, or they don't change color at all. Add more scenes with Eratat. And me and VJ, we write down our notes what we're thinking of for the scenes with Eratat. Okay, VJ, what do you think we should add with Eratat? You know what I'm saying? What do you think we should add in the plot for the movie? And we write, VJ helps me out, we write down those notes. That way when I write the script, I'm prepped. I studied the Sci-Fi book, I studied Peter Jackson's script, his Fellowship Ring script, and I took notes with my wife. I am prepped for the movie, obviously. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make a good movie, you have to be serious. You have to, VJ. I want my movie to be better than my book. I want. This is my fucking baby. I don't want this story to be ruined. We need to be serious, VJ. Well, all we have to do is dedicate a couple hours every day, and we get the rest of the day off, VJ, at the suite in this country. We can go to an event. Okay, let's do this. Get it over with. And after at nighttime, I can go to a nice bar with you, VJ. And have a nice drink. You know what I'm saying? I can go to a nice event with you. I can go clubbing with you. We have fun. But we need to be serious. We need to what? I need you helping me with the notes. We're going to go over each of the volumes. Ivan, really? Yes. I want me and VJ going over each of the volumes. In a good 2 months, we'll get it done. Because my book isn't that long. It's only a 600-page book. We can go over a good 5 pages a day. And we discuss some of the changes that should be made. We take all our notes. That way what? Okay, VJ. Yeah, I think we should add more scenes with the Eagles. Maybe the Eagles tell Tactius and them stories and young Tactius in the movie. In the book, I won't change it, but for the movie, you can change it. Make some changes. Have the Eagles have more scenes. They tell Tactius some stories. You can do that in the movie, obviously. You see what I'm saying? Have more scenes with Eratat's crows. We discussed it. That way, when we hire Peter Jackson's like, holy shit, I haven't you prepped yet. Okay, VJ, this is what I'm thinking of for Eratat. I want him to look like Pennywise the Clown. We you know what I'm saying? We find the library, we print out those pictures. We find a place where we can print, where we can print stuff from the internet. We go to that place, okay, you want to print out a couple pictures. And we print out the Pennywise, the 2 Pennywise the Clown pictures I showed you. I'll print out a couple Pennywise the Clown pictures. I'll put it in a folder. That way, when I meet with Peter, I'm all prepped. I'll tell him what I'm thinking of for the animal characters. We print that Annabelle being, obviously, right? For Ephesus and the boss of Lord of the Rings, and also I also want to show this picture to the people who are creating the mask, to paint all them. Okay, this is what I'm thinking of for the costumes, guys. A professional costume like this. Except Eratat will look like Pennywise the Clown, and Ephesus will look like the Devil being Annabelle, Harry Boss of Lord of the Rings. You tell Peter that the way he knows. See what I'm saying? Tell Peter that the way he knows, obviously. It's very important that you do that. Tell Peter that the way he knows. Tell Peter that the way he knows. Tell Peter that the way he knows. See what I'm saying? Tell Peter that the way he knows. Obviously, hence why Zane's will be the best horror because I'm gonna be prepped, man. Holy shit, I've been prepped. You even know what you even know what you want. Your animal characters are like, yes, Peter. Oh yeah, I can picture Eratat looking like Pennywise Clown. He has this clownish look. Yeah, he has this clownish look, but he's a wolf and he has human features. I think that's a perfect look for Eratat. He has this psychotic, clownish look, and he's a devil over here in the south. I feel like kind of matches, obviously. And he feasts looks like that harbor of that boss of Lord of the Rings and that devil being an animal. And the kind of costumes the wolf actors and bat actors are going to wear are similar to that devil being an animal. A professional costume like that. You have this professional prosthetic mask, and you have this costume that they wear. And you apply all that CGI technology towards the costume, then you're looking at walking demons. But they'll look more natural. They won't look computer and cheesy like the orcs in The Hobbit. See what I'm saying? And the Rings of Power. That's why Zane's will be a masterpiece. Will be a fucking masterpiece. You're looking at the best story told in most picture, man. And Peter Jackson can see a picture. He knows. He knows. I mean, yeah, you're looking at a masterpiece, Ivan. Yeah, Xanus will be a fucking masterpiece. It'll be a masterpiece. But you have to do it right. You have to hire the right Hollywood actors. You got to write a good script. As long as I take my notes, my 3 volumes with VJ, we're prepped obviously, and I took my notes. I know what I want all the animal characters look like. I know some of the changes I want to make in the movie, obviously. And I studied Peter Jackson's full script. That way I get an idea of how scripts are written. And I study that software book, I'll be fine. And you're looking at a masterpiece of a script. You're looking at an amazing movie, obviously. You're looking at a movie better than even his Lord of the Rings by a slim margin. Because Lord of the Rings is a tough franchise to the top, obviously. But for Xanus, you're not going to get cheesy special effects. You're not going to get Lara's appearing out of nowhere. You're not going to get cheesy CGI. Like the orcs running towards the cheese. That was bad CGI. Weta Digital slacked off in that scene, obviously. That was very bad CGI when the orcs were running towards the trees. That was bad, man. That was a little silly, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to get, a scene where you have 100 men left and the next scene you see 10 men left. No, you're not going to get that because what? I paid Weta Digital their rich $1,000 salary. And I paid the VFX artist guys their rich like $2 million. And the main editor $2 million. I'm only going to pay the main guys $2 million. I can't afford to pay everyone $2 million. No. It's going to affect my budget. I can only afford to pay the main guys $2 million. The main cinematographers I'll pay $2 million too for Xanus. I'll have 4 main guys. I'll have 4 main cinematographers for the main shots, and then all the other assistants you pay them the $1,000 salary. That way they work hard for you, obviously. You know what I'm saying? That way they all work hard for you. You see what I'm saying? That way they all work hard for you. That way they all work hard for you, obviously. Yeah. So I'll be hiring Weta Digital to work on some of the guys from Weta Digital to work. Because Weta Digital, I heard, is huge. They have like 1,400 employees now. I'm only going to hire... I only need a good 40 team of people working on... I could hire ILM, but ILM is more... They're hardcore CGI. Because they do Star Wars and all that stuff. ILM is the biggest special effects company in the world. George Lucas grew his ILM company to a big fucking company, man. ILM uses... All the Star Wars movies and shows all use ILM. ILM is also involved in other movie projects, too. They're fucking big. Weta Digital is, I believe, second biggest company, I believe. They're really, really big. Peter Jackson sold his company for a lot of money. But Weta Digital is not as big as ILM. As George Lucas sold his company for $4 billion, which includes ILM, obviously. Yeah, ILM is bigger than Weta Digital. I only need to hire a good 40 team of people from Weta Digital to work for my company. But I don't need Peter's technology. Peter, I don't need your technology. I'll have my own technology as I can easily afford. I'm putting $400 million towards special effects. Even better technology than even fucking ILM and Weta Digital. Yeah, my company will make ILM look like shit. As ILM, they work on like 80, 50, 60, $100 million CGI technology software equipment. And I'm putting $420 million around there towards special effects. Peter, I don't need your equipment. Yeah, Ivan, you don't need my equipment. You know what I'm saying? You can rent out your own, Ivan. Even better software than what you even for my old digital company. Yeah, I'll hire your guys, but I'll rent my own equipment. And Peter will help me make all those calls for my special effects equipment to rent. I'm going to rent it. I'm not going to buy it. Rent it. Okay, I need to rent your software for a good 8 months, 9 months, and we'll return it back, obviously. Rent it that way, because better CGI technology comes out every 4 or 5 years. So don't buy the CGI technology stuff. No, rent it, and then once you're done, you return everything back. And if there's any damages, I'll cover the cost. Guys, if we wreck anything, I'll cover the costs. If it costs us $1 million, I can easily afford it. I'll cover the cost. Don't worry about it. I want to rent your stuff. We can lease it for you, and me and Peter and VJ release the best special effects equipment in the business, man. The best processing computer software. Ivan, you're looking at a lot of computers for processing for your kind of movie, man. You're looking at unheard of technology, Ivan. Yeah, for your CGI, yeah. All the best stuff for all the departments I can rent. The sound department, VFX department, the editing department, the sound mixing departments. You know what I'm saying? I can rent the best stuff for the score, I can rent a nice town hall in Switzerland or Vancouver. I might have Hans Zimmer be in Vancouver composing the soundtrack, obviously. The soundtrack for my movie, or I might have him in Switzerland. We'll see what happens. It's cheaper to have him in Vancouver. I might rent a town hall in Vancouver, or I'll rent one in Switzerland. Rent a building for them, and you have what, the composer, and you have the conductor, and you have what, you have Hans Zimmer, who'll be composing the choir. The amazing soundtrack of my last Rings movie. You're looking at a better soundtrack than even Lord of the Rings, man. Because I paid Hans Zimmer more money than Howard Shore. And Hans Zimmer is a better composer than Howard Shore. He's a higher ranked composer than Howard Shore. Howard Shore is only worth a couple $1,000,000. Whereas Hans Zimmer is worth like $100-something million, man. He's big, man. He's worth, I think, $150 million. He charges a good $2 million per score. And the guy has done composed hundreds of soundtracks for movies. Hence, his net worth, it adds up, obviously. He composed hundreds of soundtracks for movies, and he charges $2 million per movie. He amasses like $80 million net worth, obviously. Because he's a composer, he's not worth any more than $3 million. If he wants more than three, I'm like, Hans Zimmer, you're my fucking composer. You're not my actor. You're not my star. In Hollywood, you charge $2 million per score. I'm giving you $3 million, which is like $2.2 million in American money. I'm paying you more than what Hollywood pays you, and I'm giving you a piece of the royalties. A nice like $5 million piece of the royalties. I'm giving you a $2,000 royalty check for the release. I'm giving you a good deal. Without having a deal, you're paying more money when Hollywood pays me. Yes, I'm paying more money when Hollywood pays you. But somebody tells me, Peter Jackson, tell me, Ivan, why don't you hire Howard Shore? Howard Shore did my Lord of the Rings soundtrack. I don't know, Peter. Somebody tells me Hans Zimmer is better for Zanus. Because Hans Zimmer composed the Lion King soundtrack too. Remember that beautiful music? You know what I'm saying? Remember that? I'm butchering the beat. Remember that beautiful music of Lion King? Yeah, Hans Zimmer. I have a lot of ideas for your Zanus soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? I don't want an African theme. I don't want an African theme like Lion King, but I want something, Hans Zimmer, I want something beautiful, a beautiful soundtrack like Lion King, like you did for Lion King. I have an aura, but I'll compose a better soundtrack than even Howard Shore. You compose a better soundtrack than even Howard Shore. Yeah, man. And Zanus ends up being, like, if you think Lord of the Rings had an amazing soundtrack, you're looking at a better soundtrack than even, than for fucking Zanus. Look at a beautiful soundtrack. Hey, Hans Zimmer, I want some beautiful music for the prologue, for young Tactius. You know what I'm saying? You have that Sun is Shining song. His name is Tactius. His name is Tactius. Oh, shelter him, Lord, shelter him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell the singers to sing something like that. Holy shit! Peter's like, holy shit, you're creative. That's a beautiful song. You know what I'm saying? Shelter him. You know what I'm saying? That's a sick song, Ivan. Holy shit, you're creative. I'm like, yeah, if you're creative. Holy shit, we know your shit. I'm like, yeah, I know my shit. You know what I'm saying? Show my kind of here.